Hey, you guys, it is Ali. Welcome back to my channel. I have been gone for a little bit, but wanted to come back and do a really quick video to share with you some of what I've discovered in my journeys here in Costa Rica around what it costs to vacation here and or live here. I apologize right out the gate because what I'm saying is not going to match my lips, and that's because my mic was off, you guys. I'm so sorry about that, but I'm going to do a little bit of the voiceover and just fill in the first 7 minutes gap for you, and then go right into some of the costs once I realized at minute 7:20 that my mic was off. So I'm going to be sharing with you costs more so related to the everyday living, not the accommodations part. I'll talk about accommodations a little bit at the end, but I'll do a separate video for that. But this is more along the lines, I think what people tend to forget about when you're traveling somewhere is what's your expenses outside of the accommodation. So you might find things that are reasonable, but are the costs for eating and grocery shopping and data and gyms or utilization of some of the services in those areas, is it reasonable, or is it higher priced? And so I'm going to share with you some of those things. Also quickly share with you what the exchange rate here is for the Colombian. I was going to say Colombian, but Costa Rican dollar, or not dollar, but I think it's Colon. It's the CRC. So the Costa Rican currency as compared to the USD. And right now we are tracking at about 550 CRC to every $1 US. So basically, for every whatever the cost is that you see in Costa Rican currency, just multiply that times two, subtract a little bit, but once you add in like all of your charges and things like that, it comes up to about literally 2 for 1, right? So if it's 500, it's 500 colones is expected to be one. That's one USD. So 500 looks like 50 cents, so it's one USD. If you see one, which is like it's 1,000 colones, which looks like $1, that's going to be closer to $2 USD. Okay, so I hope that helps with figuring that out. One quick application tool that I use and I have saved on my phone is called the XE Currency Converter. That is a great one to use. Maybe I'll put a picture up here if I do a little editing, but that's one that I use all the time. But one of the things that you can do is just save the conversion rate, which is pretty simple. It's almost like 2 to 1 in your mind, and you can just do it on your calculator and get like a meal, say about 4,000, divide that by 500, and then that'll tell you what the cost will be in USD. Carry that decimal point over too, right? So just in general about accommodations and food and things here, what you'll find is things are not cheap at all. So if you're used to spending like $4 for a meal, $2 for a meal, yeah, you can get food carts and stuff, but I think even those are overpriced. They'll say like 1,000 colones for one cold coconut, 1,000 colones for a coconut, that's 2 USD. So it may seem like it's cheap, but it really isn't. It's 2 USD. Whereas you could be somewhere else and like you were paying, like in Colombia, it would be like probably equivalent to 30 cents or something like that, right? And so from that perspective, you'll see the variance and the difference in the cost. But I think it might be just relative to the location. People kind of expect to pay certain amounts. But this is just to kind of prepare you for those types of things. So an average meal, if I'm just getting one plate, a burger, fries, something like that, or a pizza, or a bowl of pasta, or a quinoa bowl or something, you're going to easily see 4,000, you're going to see 3,800, you're going to see 4,500, you're going to see 5,000. That's on average what you'll see the cost for most things. That right there is close to $10. Okay, so in my book, that's not necessarily cheap, right? It's average what you're going to pay in the United States for a meal at a restaurant. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit perspective, and I'm gonna like kind of fast forward through all this and jump into what I was talking about when my mic picked up. And that was like about my cup of coffee, which I'm here at Joanne's, and it's a place right here on the beach. So yes, I'm in a more of a touristy area, more of an expat area, and so the costs are reflective of that. And so this coffee I got is just a black coffee. It's 1,200 Costa Rican colones. I believe it's colones, y'all. I just don't want to say colones, and it's not. It's like it's not pesos, so it must be colones. Anyway, 1,200 colones plus I got almendras milk, which is almond milk, and that's another 600, so it comes up to 1,800. You divide that out, that's basically a little over $3, right, for a cup of coffee. So putting that in perspective, here is kind of a breakdown of some of the other things and some of the other expenses that you'll encounter when you are here in Costa Rica. All right, you guys, I just realized my mic was not on, so hopefully the sound is going to be okay. I apologize. So anyway, so if I were to compare this to the last place I was at, which was Colombia, um, even Ecuador, maybe, you have this, you kind of get used to spending like $1, maybe $2, even a whole meal for $4 or $5. Whereas here, you can easily spend $5 on a cup of coffee. So, for example, a lot of times a cappuccino here can be 2,600. So 2,600 divided by basically divided by 5 is kind of the easy way to do that. And so you're literally paying one, two, three, four, basically $5 for like a cappuccino, and that is more closely related to if you're a Starbucks person and you're spending between $5 and $8 for a coffee. This may seem like a deal to you, but to me it's not really, right? But of course I could just buy coffee and make it in my own house. I could do that, and so that's where you would save money, is obviously buying things, making money in your own house. I could go and get a veggie burger with fries and maybe a beer or something like that, and I will spend about 9,000. That's literally like $16. So that's not really a savings. That's not like a $4 or $5 meal. That's a $16 meal. And so if I'm doing that twice a day, so for instance, I'll have coffee in the morning. I have something that I have in my refrigerator at night, and then I'll eat lunch out somewhere. And so I'll spend a lot of times find those $2 prices, those restaurants that are, you're getting a whole meal for $4. I haven't seen that yet. And I don't go to a lot of the soda shops either, because they don't really cater into the type of food that I eat or the preparation. So for me, it's more preparation than it is like the food type, because a lot of places will have like beans and rice, or they'll have like plantanos or something like that, but it's the preparation. If I see a lot of stuff cooked in grease and oil, a lot of times that has the residual effect and it upsets my stomach. So I just have to be mindful of it, because that's just the way my body is wired. So, literally what you would spend going out to eat in the US is what you're going to spend to go out to eat here. So go to the grocery store. When I move into this next place tomorrow, I'm going to do a lot more grocery shopping. So the next thing would be like Wi-Fi data. So you can get data pretty easy here. You can buy it at the airport, get a SIM card, which is something that I do everywhere I go. I get a SIM card, and then I'm set to go and I buy data. So I think when I first got my card at the airport, it was 20 USD, and you got 10 Let me tell you something. Their data runs out super fast here. So it's kind of hard to find places that'll tell you like about their deals, like when they have the 30 gig sale and stuff like that, and it's only $15. Like, I didn't find out about that until I went to another Claro dealership with another friend trying to get hers set up. And I was like, oh, that wasn't offered to me when I got mine. And I was like, how do I get that? She goes, oh, we'd have to give you a whole new SIM card. And I just paid for my data. And so on average, I feel like it's $10 for every 5 gig, because I paid $20 for 10 gig and I paid $10 for 5 gig, something like that. They do have a lot of free zones. Like right now I'm on a free zone, which is like their park or city zones where they offer free Wi-Fi. And a lot of places outside of the US, I feel like, offer free Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So you can get Wi-Fi that way, but just be mindful, like try to get the packages that give you a whole month. It's cheaper that way. I find that a lot of places, like they may have the Wi-Fi and but you have to check the speed of the Wi-Fi because sometimes it's like 6 megabytes or less, and that really isn't going to do anything depending on the type of work you're going to do. But the nice thing about these areas is when you go to these places, you'll be able to go to a coffee shop around here are either here for a short amount of time, and so that brings people back to your establishment if they can come in, get Wi-Fi, do a little work, and that kind of thing. So I would say that it's not the worst that I've had, and worse in terms of cost, but it definitely is not the best. So let's talk gym. So I think I might get a gym membership. They have a couple of gyms around here, and there's one right up the street, and it's like $8 to $10 a day, I believe, or 25 for the week. So it basically comes up to like $5 a day. A little bit less than $5 a day. Well, you count 7 days. Then it's more like three something, almost $4, right? And so I think I might do that for the rest of the time that I'm here, and actually use the gym, which isn't bad. It's not bad to pay $5 a day, right? And you actually get access to all the classes that they offer as well. So that is, I think, worth it. You can also, like, the area is great for if you want to just run and go to the beach and work out. And of course, they got the little calisthenic stuff in the park that you can do. So price wise, I think that's great. They have some other places too. They have Pilates, they have yoga studios, different things like that. I haven't found a yoga studio that I'm interested in going to yet on this side, but there's a lot of different options that I think that you can kind of find that will work for you. And in that spirit, I would say that the prices are to add up the cost longer term is when you start to see how much more something is expensive. So for example, can go to this, Costa Rica, whatever, and I'm going to be there for 5 days, and I'm going to spend anywhere from $500, $700, or $1,000 on accommodations. Well, in 5 days, that's like not bad, right? Because you get a probably pristine place. You might get like a waterfront location. Everything is included, all of that stuff, right? But if you try to do that long travel, multiply that 5 times 2. That's 10 days for $2,000. Multiplied times 4, that's $4,000 for literally only 20 days. That doesn't even get you through the whole month. So everything is relative to longevity, like how long you're going to stay somewhere. And of course, what you want is you want the price to decrease the longer term that you're going to be in a place. And so that's kind of how I kind of evaluate whether or not if something makes sense spend wise. And one other thing that I've done since I've been here, because I find the bus system in Costa Rica just overall isn't very user friendly for people who are nomading with larger backpacks or maybe luggage from place to place. I don't like their bus system for that, because they don't have like a bus that goes like directly through from place to place like I've experienced in Ecuador, and I think in Colombia they have it more set up that way. Whereas here, to get from a 5-hour drive, it's like 4, almost 5 buses, and then you still have to take a taxi. So what I ended up doing here, so I'm going to share this with you, is I did a shuttle service called Interbus. So it's interbusonline.com. Check them out. They literally will do door-to-door service, and I ended up getting door-to-door service from San Jose, from my apartment in San Jose to my apartment here in Playa Del Cocos for $61. That is the best. And the thing is I'll do a video on that whole process, because there's things that they don't actually tell you about that ride that you need to know. And so I will do a separate video on that, so make sure you check back for that. But this, I just wanted to come on and just give a quick kind of like 1, 2, 3 on some of the basic expenses that you're going to have in every area. They do have taxis here as well. They do have Uber. They say they have Uber, and it's actually super cheap. Like, you could do in San Jose, I could get an Uber from the airport for like $5 or something, a 20-minute ride, 2,200 colones basically, which comes up to like a little less than $5. So their Uber ride shares and stuff like that are a great option. But sorry about that, you guys. I'm sitting in a coffee shop and making smoothies and stuff. But an Uber rideshare is not available everywhere. So that's just something that I've stayed in so far since I've been here. But that is Sarapiqui, which is like more in the rainforest area, closer to the East Coast. I've stayed in San Jose, and I've stayed now in Playa del Cocos, and before 4 years ago I was in Jaco. And in between that, I've gone to La Fortuna to check it out, and then I've also been to Puerto Viejo area to check that area out as well, which is on the coast on the east side. Hopefully that is helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments, and bear with me because I'm just trying to rock and roll and get these things out. Anyway, you guys, I'm here in Costa Rica. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Please hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, let you know when I'm going to post something new. And I'll chat with y'all later. Y'all know the drill. Toodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease.